Alright, so we're going to do a cardio video with steps and jumps. So there's 6 exercises in that category. The first one is called the Canal Street Drill, and I just call it that because it's something that I learned at a gym that I used to go to when I was living in New Orleans on Canal Street. There was a guy I met there who showed me how to do this. So anyway, basically you're going to have a step or just an object, or you can put a piece of tape on the ground or just use your imagination. Back when I used to do this, a lot more, I would use an aerobic step from like one of those aerobics classes. One of those big plastic steps that has the blocks that you can build up under it to make it higher. I just used the flat step on its own, and it was a pretty perfect height and width for me to use. But anyway, this is going to be sort of a lateral, kind of like shuffle drill. So you're going to have 3 steps going one way and 3 steps going the other way. All right, so I'm going to use this brick to show you how to do it. So you'll start on one side of your object or your spot, and you're going to go outside leg in front, 2, outside leg, well, the leg that started on the outside comes to the inside, outside, 2, inside, okay, outside, 2, inside. And since your first step comes across in front, your next step is naturally going to be a little bit behind it. But your third step, you should think about coming a little bit more behind so that your feet are kind of staggered like this, because the first step coming back is going to have to go in front. So if you have this leg and back a little bit, it's going to make that transition to the next side a little easier. And the more you get used to that motion, the more speed you can add. And you'll notice that my hips are twisting as I'm doing this. My shoulders are twisting a little bit too. But I'm trying to resist the twisting with my shoulders. I'm trying to keep my shoulders kind of down while my body twists, okay? Because again, like, your core is there to stabilize. So anywhere that you have motion, you also need stability to balance it out. So pretty much every move, every exercise that you do, there's going to be muscles that are called prime movers that, like for example, biceps curl. I wonder what the prime mover for that is. It's bicep. However, you have muscles on the other side, so your tricep on the back is also working to stabilize, okay? You're also, like, your lats stabilize, your shoulders help stabilize. All this needs to stay still so that this can work. And that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing with your upper body when you do this drill. Your hips are going all over the place. So you're flexing down with your shoulders, and your shoulders are going to rotate because your hips are rotating as well, and your hips are a lot stronger than your shoulders. Hopefully, they're supposed to be. But by keeping those shoulders down, you'll be able to keep your balance and go a lot faster and smoother. So full body irradiation, like always. So the next one we're going to do is called a total body extension. It's pretty much like a jump. It's pretty much like a high jump, except instead of leaving the ground, you're just going up on your toes. So you're generating as much force as you can. You're going like you're about to jump, but you're staying on the ground. Okay. So go ahead and establish some pressure in your core. Go ahead and dig those feet into the ground like you're going to push off. And then what you're going to do, you're going to bring your arms up. You're going to come up onto your toes just a little bit. Then you're going to dip down. Let me get like this. So arms up, toes. You're going to dip down into a squat, into like a little quarter squat. And then you're going to shoot your arms forward. You're going to bring your glutes forward to extend your hips, and you're going to come up on your toes. And then when you're through that motion, you're going to come back down and catch yourself with soft knees, soft hips, and on the balls of your feet. Because if you come back on your heels too quickly and violently, what that's going to do is that's going to make your leg want to straighten out and hyperextend, and that's going to be bad for your knee. So this is one that you may want to take slow. This is one that you may want to do like one rep at a time instead of trying to like do multiple ones, just so that you can kind of avoid that back and forth with your knee until you get this move down a little better. So we're going to get in our starting position, pressure, pushing down. We're going to come up on our toes, and hands up, little dip. Okay? Just like that. It's pretty similar to kettlebell swing motion, except your arms are going through a greater range of motion. But if I was just to keep my arms down here and do it, it's almost like I'm swinging a kettlebell, just I'm coming up on my toes. So once you get the motion down, once you feel safe with it, you can do multiple reps at a time. You can just try to string them together. As quickly as possible. We also have a one-legged total body extension. All right. So, same principle. We're just on one leg now. Dip down, up. All right. I'll do it on the other side. If you want to, you don't have to go completely on one leg. You can do like a split stance. So this leg will be on the toes more. This leg will be on the toes through the entire move, while this leg in front is going to be coming up and down on toes, depending on where you're at in the move. So, up. Just like that. That's a good one to do to target and even out any imbalances that you might find that you have along the way. You might find that maybe you're kind of falling to the side when you're doing these, or maybe you find that you really feel like only one leg is working. So I'm doing that split stance. And I mean, I know it's supposed to be cardio. I know we're supposed to be going fast and huffing and puffing, but I mean, these are total body movements that require balance and coordination. So there's no shame in going slow at first to build yourself up. Star jump is next. So star jump is called a star jump because we're going to look like a star in the top of it. So we're basically going to kind of crunch down, and then we're going to come up and expand. All right, and it's going to be kind of pretty similar to the motion that we used for the total body extension, because that's basically a jump, and this right here is a jump where the feet are going to leave the ground. If that's the way you want to do it, I'm going to show you a variation where you don't necessarily have to come completely off the ground. All right. So we're going to be hinging at the hips. We're going to kind of be coming up on the toes. We're going to come down, and then we're going to jump up. We're going to split our arms out and our legs out. And then we're going to bring everything back together in the air. So it's going to look like this. We're going to dip. And just like that. So let me... Again, very important to try your best to come down on your toes and not your heels, because like I said, if you come down on those heels, it's gonna hyperextend that leg. Whether anything actually does hyperextend or not, it's going to put your leg in a position where it's more likely to hyperextend, I guess is what I should say. So you want to land on those toes, because the toes are going to encourage the knee to bend, and bend in the direction that it's supposed to, not hyperextend. All right, got two more. We got a speed skater, and we got alternating 180-degree jumps. So I'll show you speed skater first. Excuse me, Frederick. Thank you, sir. So a speed skater is like a side-to-side alternating kind of jump step type deal. So leg's gonna come behind, gonna come back, behind. It's almost like a curtsy. So hold on. So sorry about that. All right, speed skater. So, one, you can also, you can kind of alternate how you do them. You can do lengthy strides, or you can do quick strides. So, you can, hold up. Okay, so you can try to go as far as you can on each one. Or you can try to go as fast as you can. So I wouldn't recommend trying to do long and fast at the same time. Like the Canal Street drill, hips are going to rotate, but you want to try to keep this tense and irradiate down to create stability through as much of your kinetic chain as you can. And the 180 degree alternate jumps. Oh, and I'll just mention again, speed skaters, on your toes, on your toes, on your toes, on your toes. You don't want to be landing on your heel, okay? If you land on your whole foot, that's not ideal, but it's okay. Like if you're landing like ball of your foot and then kind of coming down on your, that's okay. But you really want to avoid, and so you kind of want to be careful if you're trying to do the long strides, because you're going to be reaching with your foot, and that's something that you kind of want to avoid in general when you're jumping. It's better to have a shorter, more compact jump where you land safer, as opposed to really trying to reach with everything and put yourself in a vulnerable position while you're in the air before you come down. Because again, you want to establish your position. So just like with any exercise that we do, you establish your position before you move. Well, when you're in the air, you sort of have to re-establish your position, because you establish your position on the ground when you jump. You jump, now you're in a different position, and you have to land. So you have to kind of like prepare yourself for the land, right? So you don't want to prepare yourself for the landing by reaching with your leg, extending your foot, and having your heel be the first thing that hits the ground, all right? So with all these, and with the one I'm about to show you, really, really, really toes, toes, toes. You want your knee bent for most of this, because a bent knee can take a lot more impact in a lot more safer manner. All right, 180 degree alternating jumps. So you're gonna get yourself ready, and then you're gonna do a 180 degree jump this way, then you're gonna come back this way, back, all right? So it's gonna look like this. This one is all about balance and all about timing, because you're gonna see that like your feet are gonna land, and like your hips are still gonna be back here. So when your feet land, you know, it's gonna be like feet land, and then hips come whoop, and then right as you're getting used to your hips, you know, right as you're adjusting for your hips, it's like here comes your upper body too. And then it's like, well, now it's time for me to do my next jump. So timing and balance are really gonna kind of be the things to build up more than anything, to make this drill more effective, which is just gonna take practice. If you can't do 180 degree jumps, you can just do 90 degree jumps instead. So instead of jumping all the way here and here, you can just jump like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and that's about it for that one. That's the jumps and steps for your cardio.